Hey, it's Kristen. I am a somatic experience practitioner from Venice Beach, and this space is all about body-based reflection, somatic healing, and sensual reclamation. Today, I am offering you a tarot card reading on love, emotional truth, and intimacy. So let's get started. This is what I call the relational clarity reading. So where are you right now? What are the energies right now? Where are you involved in intimacy in this moment? So undecided, and I think you're undecided because there has been lack of emotional clarity. And it's important right now to take a little bit of time to center yourself, to take a pause. You can even take a pause right now. You're wherever you are. Just take a moment and sit and feel your body resting against the surface wherever you are. And maybe as you start listening to this reading, try to feel into the body and how the body feels about what's being said, and honoring that embodied wisdom that you have, and see if more clarity can come forth just by being present in that space. Sometimes it's better to do nothing if you don't know. A mentor of mine years ago, when I started doing more intuitive type work, she was an Akashic record reader and a medium. She was an older woman, and she's like, if you don't know, if you're not sure, do nothing. So it's okay to be in the nothing, to be in the not knowing. And as opposed to feeling frustrated in the not knowing what's not happening next, where am I going next, just kind of lean into that space and surrender to it. And you might find that accepting that that's where you are, that that's the reality of what you're sitting in, begins to open up the space a little bit more. So what's the mirror? What energy or person or situation is reflecting something important back to you? So it's a situation or a person or an event that puts you in your head. So it's the opposite of where we want to be, trusting the body, perhaps different, events around love, a string of bad dates, traumatic relationships. Perhaps there is trauma bonding for some of you. You related to a person that kind of had similar experiences, and there was a bond there. And then as you walk along your personal growth journey and wanting to come back into wholeness and exploring those modalities and exploring new communities and people and situations that make you feel better about yourself, it's realizing, oh, this doesn't really fit anymore. And then there's a tendency to sort of try to figure it out in the mind, like, wait a second, this worked in the past, this is what I liked in the past. And then feeling constricted, like, oh, I can't leave this situation, or got into this situation again, what am I doing wrong? And you're not doing anything wrong. You're changing and you're growing. And there's always this liminal space between, who you have been and who you are now and what you're developing into. And sometimes there's this tendency to, loop back, repeat patterns, go back into, an old way of thinking, old routines, old behaviors, which can be allowing certain people into your life, or trying to overcompromise, or trying to accept things that don't feel right in your body. It's like, this doesn't feel right. Like when I go out with this person, it doesn't feel right. There's something about it I don't know. I don't want to get more physically intimate with them. I don't feel safe to get more emotionally intimate with them. I don't really feel like I can be vulnerable in this space. And there is no thinking or story that you need to go into it. You don't need to come up with reasons to justify what doesn't feel good to you. It just doesn't feel good to you. So what's hidden? Where's that edge of learning? You know, what wants to be faced, shifted, and fully accepted in an embodied way? Strength. That you no longer need to resist or to justify or to come up with excuses to somebody else or to any community, to any one person about who you are or what you need or what your desires are or what you want, what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel safe, to become more intimate. And there are people that you can be attracted to that are okay with surrendering to vulnerability with you. Perhaps you've been in some situations where there's a person right now that's, you know, that you're feeling into, right? Because we don't want to overthink it. We don't want to go into the mind, into story. There's just something that you're feeling about someone where it's like there's something about your sovereignty that feels dominating to them, or you expressing your wants or desires, having your needs somehow feels too much for them, or you're asking too much. And it's like they don't want to be controlled, coming from their own stuff, coming from their old past relationships and what they've been through. And, you know, you don't need to be sympathetic to that. And I'm not saying don't be sympathetic at all. Don't be understanding. Don't, you know, take into account what other people have been through when they share things with you. But there comes this sort of line that gets crossed where you feel like, everything that their exes has ever done to them, it's sort of like you're paying for it when you're not doing anything to control or dominate. Maybe there might be this bit of a power struggle because you feel like, you know, even asking for some kind of compromise, or again some sort of need is kind of backing this person off. They feel like this lion, that it feels like you're trying to dominate. I think we want to be the lion and the lady, right? We want to be in a relationship where, you know, you can feel like someone, you know, like you can fall into each other, where, you know, it's okay to take turns, being the person that takes the action in a relationship, that there is this balance of masculine, feminine energy in both people, where your ability to take action, to have a very healthy aggression, which is our boundaries and our clear and fluid boundaries, where that is accepted, and you accept that in somebody else, so that you can sort of, you know, lie back and be vulnerable and let yourself be taken care of, but then also be with someone that can lie back and be vulnerable and let you take care of them. And it's in the appropriate cycles. And it's like the breathing in and out and the breath between two people. And I think that's what you're going for. That's the next phase of things. That's what wants to be seen. So let's grab an oracle. What is the medicine here? What's the integration message? You know, what wisdom do I need to hold, as you move forward? What does the body want to say? Regrets, but I think this is no regrets. Or having acceptance of whatever regrets you've had and not holding those things, against yourself. You know, everything that you've ever been through has been a part of the creation of who you are. And you made the decisions that you made with the intelligence that you had, with the wisdom that you had, based on the experience that you had, and holding compassion and forgiveness for yourself and moving forward, so that you can move into and claim this next place that you're going to. So whoever's on your mind, past, present, feel into the body. How does this person make you feel in the body? And do a scan. How does your heart feel? How does your pelvic feel? How do you feel in this relationship, or in that relationship that you were in? And what do you want your body to feel like when it feels good in intimate relationship and partnership with someone? If you want to work with a flower essence, rose is wonderful. It's so gentle. It's so kind. It teaches the wisdom of self-acceptance and self-love, and what it needs to prepare you to have the strength and the resilience to move into the next phase, and what you want to bring in and what you want to call in romantic and intimate partnership. So there's tons of wonderful rose essences out there. The Rose Essence Shop, I think Box has a rose. If you go in and you Google it, or you can simply buy roses, keep them, put a candle by a rose, just simply have them with you and acknowledge them, put pictures of roses up, and just sit with whatever wisdom wants to come from rose and its medicine to you. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I want you to say to yourself, I move into love with honesty. I honor my pace, my truth, and my boundaries. So if you're resonating with this video, please let me know in the comments below. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to hang out with me more, I would love that. Please subscribe. And I will see you on the next one.